Excuse me. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, classic, less non-classic. This is episode number 2707 and Doubleshot number 2601. First up we have is Tales of the Batman by Archie Goodwin. This book collects his stories from Tita Comics, the opening stories for basically almost the entirety of the issues for Tita Comics 737, 738, 438, 437, 438, 440, 442. The special edition, which is basically a reprint of the entire backup feature of Manhunter. And number 3, Showcase 95, number 11, Batman Black and White, number 1 and 4, and Legends Dark Knight, number 132, 136, and Batman Night Cries. Also, we're continuing here. I want to give a thank you for 300 subscribers. Thank you. Next goal is to get to basically 400. Mostly put this is the for the artist here. For the other stories, now the Manhunter. Now here's what I'm skipping. I'm skipping the Manhunter specialist because it's discussed already, the entire thing, and I'm skipping over Night Cries, which is not exactly his last story he did for Batman. Last story he did with Legends Dark Knight. So in the case of the first one here, Death Mask. Mostly put for this one is Batman's the whole thing with just solving the whole Death Mask mystery. Yeah, Jim Gordon upset with his party. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to go out and fight crime. Batman is his Death Mask character. It is interesting, and of course, next comes basically a monster that walks in Wayne Manor. Yes, Wayne Manor is abandoned in this period of time. So apparently the place is haunted. Of course, everybody's doing all storm chasers. Like, so they all come and it's also mentioned here that there's nothing here, but there's grandfather clock, and Bruce notes the fact that yes, that's the entrance to the Batcave, and the other people who know what's there is Alfred, Bruce himself, and Dick Grayson. That's it. But really fun, spooky story here. And Ra's al Ghul, who's locked in prison thanks to issue Batman 244. So, really fun, spooky story here, this one. I really enjoyed it. Skipping straight to 440 because 439 basically is not in here. Well, the opening story isn't because he didn't write the story. This one's called Ghost Mountain Midnight. I'm crazy guy trying to get basically this woman home. It just basically just standalone like political, basically some interesting stuff, and then we have issue number 440 with Robin guest stars. Yes, he guest stars. Yep. Where basically it's just called Judgment with Howard Chaykin the artwork. Yep, Howard Chaykin's the artist of this one. It's most Batman trying to save Robin from the resort that was abandoned. But I really love all the artwork by Howard Chaykin. It's the best thing about the story. For 442, Batman finding this mighty biplane. Is M8? No, it's something else. Then comes Man on the Page, which I discussed already. By the way, the feature itself was originally collected. Basically, it was back a feature briefly in Tita Comics issues 437 to 442. 433, the story for the Batman story for that one would serve as the conclusion of this story, which sadly involved death of Paul DeKirk. Yeah, his death via the council, and this storyline was partially adapted for Beware the Batman. Yep. If you care as the artwork of the story, it's Walt Simonson. Now the annual stuff, I've kind of discussed this already in another video, so I'm going to skip over this one. But I have been included because, well, Archie going to write it, so why not? Yeah. Yeah. So basically, right after the Manhunter feature, like I'm skipping nowhere from Showcase number 95. Showcase 95, number 11. Yeah. The Escape is basically just a story called what someone called Wyndham Vane, where he takes on Joker, Poison Ivy, Killer Croc. It's all doing Arkham Asylum stuff. And eventually, you have the two black and white stories, The Devil's Trumpet and Heroes. Devil's Trumpet is basically about jazz. In case issue 4, Heroes. Yep. Basic it's like Heroes with just a standalone character and a flash of Batman. And then we have the five-parter from Legend of Dark Knight issues 132 to 136, a five-parter known as Siege. This was kind of, in a way, Archie Goodwin's last story he did for Batman. With Marshall Rogers in the artwork. Yep. Mostly put just Batman taking on the Cage Birds. He also apparently goes to Metropolis. We also see appearance by Severus and Cloud. I mean, could this possibly be like a follow-up to Dark Detective? I could say yes. But this is definitely well before her appearance in Whiting Gur. Yeah. Those are a few of the issues. It's all basically Batman deal with a riot at some point in his career. Let's mention about Wayne Manor being abandoned. This is, you could say, kind of basically, this is a way Archie Goodwin basically brought us in from a Earth 1 continuity. We also have James Robinson basically on the co-writing of these issues. It just mostly put just a really interesting story for what it is. It's a quick five-parter. You can think of it as basically Batman dealing with some one-shot characters for a whole story arc. It's like Archie Goodwin's going back to what he knew back in the 70s and do it for Siege, which is fine. This would be his last official Batman story he ever did. What about Night Cries? Night Cries deals with, it's a very controversial subject. There's also a brief mention on basically 136 of, well, a Batman costume worn by basically Bruce Wayne's father. Yep. And this is supposed to, you could say this story takes place just before, supposedly before Batman ever met Superman. It's possible. But really good five-parter. I enjoyed it. Night Cries deals with some controversial topics. Like, I think it deals with child molestation, I think it is, or at least child abuse. It's a very dark story, and I'm surprised Archie wrote the damn thing. But the book itself was really good. I give the book a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is some issues from these issues from... Now, I'm going to be next discussing Action Comics 647, 649, Superman Volume 2, number 37, 38 to 40. Avengers Superman number 561 to 563, and a trade. I think it's like Eradication, I believe it is. It's called Eradication. I'm also going to stick with you as well. So, before discussing from Action Comics, we have this amazing three-parter known as the Brainiac Trilogy. And it's drawn by the awesome George Perez with Roger Stern is on the writing here with Kara Gimmel. Mostly put, it's basically the guy is Felton is playing as Brainiac. We see the Brainiac ship in this story. Like, it's an exciting three-part story. It's only an action comic, surprisingly. You would think, though, a story like this, they would spread out across books. Nope, they did not. They kept it self-contained. But it's a really good story. Yep. There was lots of action-packed stories. As for Superman, his stuff kind of continued with Avengers Superman. This is written and drawn by Jerry Ordway. It's mostly put basically like, you could say this is set just after the Brainiac trilogy, kind of. You give us two places. It is mostly about Superman looking for, like he's searching for Brainiac, and it's all about escaping Metropolis. But then we continue over in Adventure Superman 61, where it's all about Eradicator causing natural disasters. Yes, the Eradicator. The object seen in this, by the way, this book is written and drawn by George Perez at this point in time. Yep. Forge restored, Eradicator is gone. Then, for 462, it's basically just do a Superman story. Superman story deal with Christmas. Remember, Roger Stern art by Dan Jurgens. And then we have, for 463, where we have a race between Superman and the Flash, which is a rematch of Superman 199. Yep, but what about the Superman issues? All dealing with this guy called the Four-Armed Terror. Yeah, it's like these issues in particular just dealing with stuff related to Jack Kirby stuff. It's back here for these two issues here, but it comes back at 43 as well. Yep. But then we move on to 650 of Action Comics. With basically a storyline that follows right after the event 650. Which is the prologue, unfinished prologue, this one. Where Superman is dealing with, hasn't been made quite just yet per se, but it's mostly put just deal with a guy called Draga. And this leads into the Krypton Man. And Superman basically starts like, and they also say, retcons that Superman was on JLA member until this was fixed with Infinite Crisis. But in the case of this story here, the whole storyline is called The Day of the Krypton Man. And also, mostly put, we have Superman's first fight with, of all people, Lobo. Yeah, he's here as a guest star. In this story, as a guest starring villain. Yeah. So yeah, basically the storyline in particular is just basically Superman's first move with Lobo. That's one of the side things with the story. We have Superman also become more Kryptonian than usual. We have it's wearing the robes that were first seen in the Man of Steel miniseries by John Byrne. You can think of the storyline here as a follow-up from a plot thread from issue 5 of basically issue 6 of Man of Steel. That's mostly what the storyline is. It's like John Byrne said, was supposed to explore in his stories, but never did. And my guess is Stern must have been suggest. Now Byrne was like, "No, I'm not gonna follow with this." And I guess Stern was like, "Okay, I'll do a follow with it, but I'm gonna do a 5-part story. I'm gonna do a 6-part story with this one." Yep. Where basically here are the parts. Part 1 is Superman Volume 2, Issue 41. Part 2 is Adventure Superman number 464. Part 3, Axiomics 651. Part 4 is Superman Volume 2, Issue 42. Part 5 is Adventure Superman number 465. And Part 6 is Action Comics number 652. I eventually put the story ends with basically Superman frame stuff with the kryptonite clothes. And it's almost like this is the story where a rad character is influencing him. And he breaks the influence and burns the kryptonite clothes. But then of course we have after the issue of this one, yes. Because here's the weird thing related to the storyline. Because with the exception of Superman, the next thing for any of the other two books basically is the Dark Knight Metropolis crossover, which I discussed already. So the aftermath of this one, yeah, basically that's kind of what 483 is. It's an aftermath story for this one. Or mostly put it just him taking on this group called the Evil Factory. To make a return in this book, first time since Superman's Power 2 Milestone 52. Actually, I'll split issue 40, but no first appearance per se. Of course, Superman does team up with Guardian in the storyline, but it's a really interesting storyline with this one. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it is. Yep, but I'm going to give Eradication a 10 out of 10 because it's a really amazing story. Brainiac Trilogy, also 10 out of 10. Superman, I consider it really good, but mostly put, I think in the case of those two books, basically these 5 issues, all they serve as is a build up to the Krypton Man. It's basically a setup for it. And I'm not sure why DC decided not to include these issues in trade. It's weird. But yeah, really good stuff here. And, well, that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up is Monster. Okay, thanks, you. Bye.